especially the guy who's nicknamed 8 in junior high.
Probably Sean Bradley from BYU. Because if he comes back off the missions, he's going to revolutionize the rules of basketball. Not only college, but also pro. Nice dish.
And Exel to Jones, and he's fouled. Is it because he's that tall or that good?
He's that good. He's 7'5", 7'6", but he's that good. Right today, he's 3-4 times the ability of ball. And this guy can water ski, hit a golf ball. So remember, Sean Bradley will revolutionize basketball.
Marcus Nolan, a freshman ball handler out of Memphis who has seen plenty of action in this tournament, has come in replacing Matlock. David Vaughn committed the personal foul, and here's Herb Jones, the best junior college player in the state of Kansas 2 years ago, and a big favorite here in Kansas City.
Had 24 points against UTEP. That's a lot of money.
Cincinnati opens up a 6-point lead.
Now here's where they try to get you. They get a run going, that they can turn you now. Here comes the trap at half court, got 3 guys on him. There they got you.
Scott. But he saves it into the hands of David Vaughn. Hardaway hits the 3, and that's a big momentum breaker for Memphis State.
So smooth from downtown.
Hardaway now has 6 points, coming on 2 3-point home runs. Breaking the trap is Van Exel.
Well, the Bearcats wanted that turnover, then they got it. They could smell blood.
Nelson has it knocked away by Hardaway, and Scott bounces into Nelson.
And he reached in. That's the 3rd. On to Pine City for Penny Hardaway.
3 fouls on Anthony Hardaway, and that's a big break for Cincinnati.
Here's the trap now, because they put 3 guys on him. 2 fellas now go to the outlet lane. Scott gets a piece of the ball. And they try extra hard when they score a basket or 2, because all they need is about 20 seconds in any part of the game, and the Bearcats can blow you out of the game.
So Hardaway, who leads Memphis State in virtually every category, one of the top versatile players in the country, on the bench with 3, so they're calling him tight. And that's got to be the benefit, as you pointed out, to the Bearcats. So the big scorer on the pine for Memphis State.
No, it should be an advantage to Memphis State, because the Bearcats are the ones who are trapping. We call it quick. They can't trap as well, I believe.
Smith has it blocked by Scott. Little frustration for Memphis State.
It might be time to burn one of your timeouts now, Larry. It might be time to start eating the clock, because they know that Penny's out. Here's the pressure again. They really have moved it up.
Larry Finch in his 6th season, trailing here 34-29. Marcus Nolan committing the foul. Both teams in the 1-1 right now, and the next foul against Memphis State will be 2 shots automatically as Herb Jones hits the first.
Let me tell you something that's kind of exciting, I think original. If they miss the foul shot, they trap off a missed foul shot, and that's original.
You don't often see that.
You don't ever see it.
Cincinnati is perfect from the free throw line, 9 for 9, leading by 7.
I'd burn some time. You just get your confidence back, too.
They nearly turn it over.
Ooh, great
save by Marcus Nolan. He was off the court. Memphis State forcing its shots. Douglas missed, but there's a foul called against Buford. It'll be his first.
The blue and gray are starting to lose their continuity, lose their poise. They need Matlock back. Here comes Matlock back in. They need him back in to settle him down. He is the coach on the court. He's the fellow that's been around for 4 years. He's got his degree already, Dick, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He's already graduated in 3.5 years, which is really unusual for any athlete in business administration. He's gone to graduate school now and maybe law school in the offing. But Nolan, the man he replaced, made a great save here moments ago. Ernest Smith, unsung hero. He did a great job on John Barry, and then Todd Day in the game before that cuts the lead to 5 for Cincinnati.
No pressure up court. The 2-3. I think he's going to settle back into his zone.
Nearly stolen by Ernest Smith, and it's last touched by Smith, so it's still Bearcats ball. Dick Stockton and Al McGuire here. It's the Midwest Regional Final from Kemper Arena in Kansas City. All the big guys are still alive in the other regionals, but here it's the number 4 seed Cincinnati against the 6-seeded Memphis State Tigers, and Cincinnati is leading by 5. And a reach in and a foul.
Definitely a foul that time on Buford.
That will be Buford's second foul. So on the Bearcats, Corey Blunt, Anthony Buford, and Jeff Scott have 2 fouls. Eric Martin has 3 for the Bearcats.
No doubt that the high-top glass sneaker is coming out of here.
Here's Madlock on the line. Both teams have trapped Al in a 36-31 lead. Neither team could mount a big lead early on, and then Memphis State started to getting a little shaky, and Anthony Hardaway on the bench with 3 personal fouls.
One of the problems, they don't have a number of guards. They got Madlock, and they're very soft in the guard position, so they're vulnerable to traps up court.
1 out of 2 for Madlock. Buford, and they're going to call Madlock for his 3rd foul. So 2 Memphis State starters are in foul trouble now. Madlock picks up 3, and Hardaway already on the bench with a trio.
Coach Finch is saying they were clearing out from inside, and it wasn't his guy that committed the foul. He just reacted to the clear out from the left arm.
There's Hardaway, who's the leading scorer, second leading rebounder, top 3-point shooter, and a brilliant passer. And Marcus Nolan, the freshman, gets off the bench, and he'll have to replace Tony Madlock here. So Madlock is out with 3 fouls.
You must remember the guy that's shooting now, it's just an interesting fact. He went to Akron. He played the coach at Akron. And when the coach went on to Cincinnati, he only had 1-year eligibility. He sat out last year, so he came to play for Bob because of his connection with Akron.
Huggins was at Akron for 4 years. Memphis State trailing by 6. Van Exel is not letting Billy Smith get off the threes as he likes to do. He's going to take a long 3, and it's an air ball. Might have hit the front rim. In any event, it'll be Cincinnati's possession. Memphis State a little rattled right now, and Larry Finch still has not used any of his timeouts, as you recommended moments ago. There are 4:20 remaining in the first half.
I just thought at that particular time because of the run. Now I think they speed up a little more clock when they go down. Once you get the ball over half court, pull up a little bit. Got away with a walk that time.
Nelson with a jump shot. He's not the scorer on this club, but right now Nelson has 6 points.
Key possession right here for the first half.
Inside, and they're going to call the blocking foul against Jeff Scott. So now Cincinnati has 2 players with 3 personals here, Scott and Eric Martin, both reserve forward.
50, Jeff Scott. Third personal, team foul for 2.
So Ernest Smith is on the free throw line, 70% shooter during the regular season. He has scored 6 points thus far. Here is Corey Blunt, and he'll replace Scott. Blunt has 2 fouls, and Scott goes out with 3.
They're trying to shotgun their fouls. They didn't want, obviously, Hardaway picking up his 3rd. That was a big call. But they want to get maybe 1 or 2 fouls on each of their first 8-man rotation. We call that shotgunning.
That's another one of the phrases that you have originated. You know, the paint and blue chip are old ones now, but, you know, a long time ago, you must have been playing the stock market pretty good to come up with blue chip.
I have a nose for the stock market, not the intelligence of it.
Don't fool us. At 6'10", now trying to work his way inside. Marcus Nolan stays inbounds on the steal, and now taken right back by Cincinnati. No numbers advantage right here. They get it inside, however, and Vaughn did not want Blunt to get the basket, and he commits the personal foul. Coming up at halftime, Bobby Knight will be live.
50, David Vaughn, second personal.
The only thing I want to be a waiter at the banquet.
Substitution for Memphis.
Coming into the game for Memphis State is Tim Duncan, the sophomore from Memphis, is 6'8". They've used him to settle down the team often this year, and they've got to do it here. Cincinnati, perfect from the free throw line and also shooting 61% from the field. So Bob Huggins couldn't ask for better shooting from the Bearcats in his first half.
One question for Bobby Knight. If you had to do it over again, Bobby, would you rather have beaten Purdue and went into the big dance relaxed, or you're pleased with losing to Purdue and going into the big dance with your ball players listening to you and the table being set?
Duncan tried to get the rebound on the missed free throw. Loose ball, and Corey Blunt. Cincinnati getting the loose ball so far. Blunt gets the basket as Douglas tried to overplay, and a 9-point lead, the biggest of the game for the Bearcats. No timeout yet?
No timeout now. The crowd has any chance they can against the sideline. Ivied up some clock. Wear their legs out a little bit.
Nolan in and out for the three. Again, the loose ball. It's going to be Cincinnati's possession. Herb Jones winds up with the scribes.
See, when I say wear their legs out, a lot of times when you spread out and you hit the clock, where Cincinnati is trapping, to do your traps, you got to cover so much distance. And if you wear their legs down, come the second half, they lose their spark in their legs. Become leg.
This could be a big possession. Legged. Easy for you. Cincinnati can open up a lead of more than 10 here. Nelson. Herb Jones. And they're going to call him for traveling.
Outstanding rebound here. Watch this miss and watch him go for the rebound. As he comes over, he gets called for a walk.
Still Memphis State's ball.
Hustles back down court, gets his hand on the ball on the other end.
Jones plays much bigger than the 6'4" that he is listed as.
Well, what he says about a ball game, you're going to win, he says, whatever it takes.
Terrence Gibson will replace Herb Jones. He'll get a hand from the Cincinnati faithful. Jones has scored 12 points and also has 8 rebounds. So he's been the top player on the court for Cincinnati.
You're in the matchup zone. I spread them out, make them run. Be patient. Wait for your start, second half. Penny Hardaway. Close to a 5 count.
Get it into Douglas, and it's turned over to Cincinnati. An ill-advised pass because there were 2 defenders around Douglas under the basket. Larry Finch is yelling for a foul.
Under no way against Cincinnati do you ever put the ball in the corner of the court.
Trapper's green.
That's the bear trap.
Hardaway has had to sit on the bench with 3 personal fouls. And Exel slices in. Would have counted had it gone, and he will go to the free throw line. The junior from Kenosha, one of the many junior college transfers on Bob Huggins' crew.
He has nice body balance when he slashes, and he seems to use his hips to maintain his balance more than a lot of guys use their legs to get balance where they spread their legs out. He jockeys his hips in a disco-type move.
Madlock, who's playing with 3 fouls, has come in for Memphis State. Hardaway went to the bench with 3 fouls with 5.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Cincinnati's opened up the lead since then, and now they have a 10-point ball. 1 left.
Since he's been in the starting lineup since early January, they're 19-1.
He's made the difference. B.J. Ward, a senior forward from Cincinnati, who did not play the other night against UTEP, has come in the game for the Bearcats, leading by 10. Minute and a half to play. Ernest Smith misses. There's Douglas inside, and he follows it up. So they brought Madlock back, Al, with 3 personal fouls, but not Penny Hardaway.
Well, they have to have someone control the tempo and handle the ball.
Terrence Gibson guarded by Hardaway. Man-to-man for Memphis State right now. Terry Nelson. Plenty of time on the shot clock and kind of a rush shot that time, but it worked for Herb Jones. And the Bearcats will get it back.
Terrible decision on that pass. You're in a one-possession move there. There's 42 seconds left on the clock. So I would think most likely that Cincinnati will play it down for one shot, try to get in with a 12-point lead.
Alan Jackson and Anthony Buford. That's Buford who's come in the game for Cincinnati when Hardaway went to the bench with 3 fouls and 5.5 minutes left in the first half. Cincinnati led by only 3 points, and they threaten now to have more than a 10-point lead at halftime.
Good move by Coach Huggins that time to spread it out, put another ball handler in. They really have 3 guards out there.
Jackson controlling at the top. Shot clock is off.
I settle back, Smith. I wouldn't go over to E. I'd settle back, settle back, settle back. It's a double bubble now because it's 2 fouls if you hit him. He's past the 10th foul.
Clock is running down, and now here is Alan Jackson. Off the mark. Rebound, Memphis State.
Let him fly.
There it goes.
It goes, it's good.
It would have, but it's over everything. And that is the end of the first half with the scores. Cincinnati 46 and Memphis State 36. CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
We are leading by 10 points, 46 to 36 at the half. And hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien, along with my partners, Mike Francesa and Bill Raftery. I had a little trouble adding there. It's that 10-point lead for Cincinnati, Mike.
And really the key, Anthony Hardaway went out with 3 fouls for Memphis State at 32-29. Then we had 1 field goal the rest of the way. Raf, to start the second half, he has got to get in the game and get them going right out of the box.
And they've got to rebound. They've been out-rebounded in every game they've played against this club. And so far today, 17-10.
Reminder that's still ahead at, thank you, gentlemen. Reminder is still ahead at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Michigan and Ohio State in the Southeast Regional Final. And just refresh your memory, there was another semifinal game yesterday. Indiana crushed UCLA, and that gave Bob Knight another opportunity to meet the press.
Coach, just wanted you to respond to the play of Damon Bailey and the overall attitude of your team coming out with their game face on. We use that expression so much. Can you comment a little bit on the attitude of the team?
In my entire adult life, I've never used the expression game face, so I have no idea what it means or what you're supposed to do.
And now Coach Knight has graciously taken out some time from packing from Minneapolis to join Quinn Buckner live in Bloomington, Indiana. Quinn, Coach, gentlemen, you're on.
Thanks a lot, Pat. I'm here with Coach Knight. And, Coach, your team played...
Can I take this earpiece out? I mean, that earpiece, CBS isn't paying its bills somewhere.
Coach, your team played pretty well against UCLA last night. It seems as though since the Purdue loss, if you can learn anything, the team has just played better. Has that been your sense of things?
Well, I think that I'm not sure that you can attribute it to a loss. I mean, you've been here when we've lost a time or two that it hasn't been real good for us after the loss. But I think that what we've done is had a really good sense of purpose with our players. I think the underclassmen really came through with determination to be a better basketball team than we were when we finished the season, and then our 2 seniors have kind of joined into it and done well.
You're going out, now your game is against Duke. They've been playing pretty well all season. Have you had enough time to think about that and what you need to get done?
No, we really haven't, Quinn, gotten into that very much. We've had so many daggone distractions. Like just this morning, I found out that we're being sued for $11 million by the International Banquet Workers Association. and they've decided to file suit against us because we canceled the banquet. And then just before we came on here, I was given a special delivery message from Antarctica. I had referred to somebody in a game Thursday night, I guess one of the officials, as kind of walking like a penguin. And you will not believe this, but the Penguins are suing me for $12 million now.
Well, back to the game. What about Duke? This is a good team you guys are going against.
Well, I think Duke is a great team. They've had a really strong run here over the last several years, a very experienced team, extremely well-coached team, a team that has good depth, has all the things that a team has to be a really good basketball team.
What do you think that you're going to have to get done to try to get it to win?
Well, I think that we've got to really play well, and I don't mean that to sound simplistic, but I think when you're playing against a team like that, you have got to do everything well. You're not going to be able to shoot well and win. You're not going to be able to just rebound. You've got to do everything well, and you've got to hold your own in every phase of the game.
Christian Laettner has caused, obviously, everybody that's seen him play or played against him some problems. What do you think is you have to do against him?
Well, he has probably the best combination of inside-outside ability going right now, I think, for anybody in college basketball. He can really shoot the ball. He's awfully good in the post area. And then he's very good in between. He's good going out. He's good coming back in. So he has to be the focal point, I think, for whatever you do defensively.
Well, that's the last play last night. It was strange to me, but I didn't see anybody in front of Christian Laettner. What was your sense of that whole thing?
Well, I really didn't get a chance to see the play, but I felt that as Kentucky lined up, when I saw the tape of it later, that always believe that it's really important not to play the man out of bounds. Now, people disagree with me on this, but I don't know why you want to play the guy out of bounds. I don't know why, when the other team has to go the length of the floor, that you don't put 5 down against their 4 and use the one guy as kind of a center fielder to go after everything, or a free safety. And maybe they got their wires crossed or whatever, but what they actually had to do under those circumstances was sandwich Laettner with a guy in front of him and a guy behind him.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for taking time to talk to us. I want to give it back to you, Pat O'Brien. That's here from Bloomington.
All right, Quinn, thank you. We actually had some questions, but the earpiece didn't work. We're going to send this out to the coach. He always has a working earpiece, and we thank you for joining us.
Any younger than
You know, Bob Knight is one of the masters at staging grand spectacles, but as our little 64 team opera has unfolded, it's become clear that some of Knight's colleagues may be tired of being, shall we say, unsung.
Wir wollen immer in den Bergen liegen. Wir wollen wieder uns betrügen. Wir wollen Tauben, Huren, Hechen. Und wenn's möglich eine Ehe wecken. Schlafen wir bis zur Ewigkeit. Hans und Pilz, Kai, Republik, Gitarre. Rein her, dass er uns erhört.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Time for Dick and Al to start singing again. Memphis State or Cincinnati is 1/2 away from the Final Four. We'll send you back to KC as at the half rolls on from Manhattan, New York to Manhattan, Kansas to Manhattan Beach, California, here on CBS. Stay with us.
For this message and a word from your local station. You're watching CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship.
Pontiac dealer, we build excitement. AT&T, proud sponsor of the 1992 U.S. Olympic team. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you, friends know when to say when.
Cincinnati trying to beat Memphis State for the 4th time this season and advance to the Final Four. And right now, Al McGuire, it looks as if right now Cincinnati has their number, because the poor shooting on Memphis State, the rebounding by Cincinnati is the same story of the previous 3.
Well, what's happening now, Dick, it's It's no more saving your ball players anymore. It's no more worrying about being blown out. It's now or never. You've got to go after it. Now you go for the glass slipper. No saving anything.
Anthony Hardaway has 3 personal fouls, a big story in this game. And right now, let's send you over to Jim Gray. Jim?
And that's exactly what the Memphis State coaching staff emphasized at halftime. They felt they really got out of sync with their 2 top guys out on the bench. They felt they played dumb basketball, missing 7 layups or dunks and 6 free throws. And here in the second half, they just want their guys to be patient, take a little more time on offense, and get better shots. Dick?
Good point, because they did rush when they were on offense. So Hardaway and Madlock each playing with 3 fouls. Start out with Douglas, Vaughn, and Billy Smith.
In the second half here, as they attack Cincinnati's pressure, they must attack it and go all the way through to finalize. Score on the baseline.
Billy Smith goes around Blunt. And a rebound and a great outlet pass to Van Exel. But Memphis State back defensively. Leading scorer for Cincinnati, Herb Jones with 14 points.
Straight up man-to-man. No help.
Bearcats shot 59% from the field in the first half. They find Jones, and it's blocked inside. And the follow-up is good. So Vaughn got the block, but Herb Jones on the follow, now with 16.
The ultimate garbage man, Jones. With the nose for the ball.
Missing is Hardaway. Follow-up, and the foul will be called against the Memphis State Tigers. That may be on Madlock. We'll check. It is. Tony Madlock picks up an early 4th personal foul to make matters even worse for Larry Finch and the Tigers.
I don't know anymore. I really think now you got to leave him in there. You got to go for the marbles. But you can't sit him too long. Maybe just get his head straight and put him back in.
Ernest Smith, who came off the bench and led Memphis State, scoring with 8 points in the first half, replaces Madlock.
With Madlock out of it, they put extra pressure on Hardaway and handling the ball.
Hardaway is guarding Buford. Buford wants to force him into a foul. Hardaway, good defense and a good rebound, but a bad outlet pass.
Let's see if they set up again with Buford being isolated on one side to take Hardaway to school, try to pick up a sports foul. There it is. No, Nelson didn't move out. Back to Buford. Let's see if they clear out this time. They're clearing out.
Interesting that Memphis State is playing man-to-man with Hardaway in the game.
Put them on Buford, who was one of their best offensive defenders.
Good feed inside to Blunt. Gets his own rebound. And a rebound torn down by Anthony Douglas. 12-point lead for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Billy Smith runs without the ball, and they look like a totally ragged team compared to what we saw in the first 3 rounds of this tournament.
Yeah, they're completely out of sync, but give a lot of credit to the Bearcats. They take the game away from you with all the pressure.
And a foul is called away from the ball. It's against Cincinnati.
Memphis State foul, number 35, Billy Smith.
Or on Memphis State, Billy Smith, and for Smith, that's his first foul.
What he did, he held his jersey. Watch here. Billy Smith, he ended up beating him. See, Exler beat him. Now Billy Smith grabs his jersey.
Can't do that?
Only in rugby.
That's what Memphis State may have to revert to if the trend of this game continues. Van Exel hits a 3. That's his second of the game. He's got both Bearcat threes, and they've opened up a big lead early in the second half.
Good timeout. You got to readjust. You got to go for the marbles now, Larry. Can't sit back any longer. Let's not panic. Let's try to get it down to about 8 with about 8 minutes left. There's 17 minutes now. Let's not try to eat up too much each time down. Just grind it out.
Carrying over from the first half, the Tigers have only 1 basket in the last 9 minutes. You can credit the Bearcats' defense for a lot of it. They're not holding on to the passes. They look very unsure out there.
One of the things they're not doing is attacking the pressure of the Bearcats.
There's Billy Smith, hits the jump shot. Let's see if they can follow it up. 51-38, but Cincinnati looks awfully strong. Remember, they're a number 4 seed, and maybe the Giants are out of here, but a number 4 seed's still pretty good in this tournament.
Well, they're a quality club. They had the 6th best recruiting class in the country last year and ended up bringing in 7 JUCO.
Van Exel is defended by Smith at the point.
I'd isolate with Buford and Hardaway. I think they're trying to do it. Take it around the horn.
Now they go low into Blunt. And a foul committed by David Vaughn. It'll be his 3rd personal foul. And reaching in was Ernest Smith, so the foul is on Smith. Coming up next, Michigan against Ohio State.
Well, you know, yesterday, Dick, the UCLA-Indiana game was a blowout, and the second game might have been the best game in modern-day basketball. So maybe today, if this ends up being a blowout, which is a long time yet, that the second game you might get a top view with Michigan against Ohio State.
That game shapes up as a big one. Ohio State won the first 2 meetings of the season. They're going to have to be concerned about beating Michigan for a 3rd straight time.
Fabulous 5. They are good. They are talented. The only thing I fear with them, if they drop behind, they'll have a problem. They go for future All-American.
1 free throw at the line, and Hardaway hits a 3. So Smith and Hardaway have connected to end a drought for Memphis State, still trailing by 11.
Hey, remember you got
a foul against Van Exel.
Excuse me, Dick. Hey, Penny, you better remember you got 3 fouls. I know you want to be aggressive, but you can't play from Pine City. A little bit too aggressive here. Got a nice call. This basket can move them a little bit closer, a little bit at a time, a tiny little bit.
Billy Smith hits another 3.
A tiny little bit.
It's down to 8. It was 15.
You don't want Penny to pick up his 4.
Although he is playing aggressive defense nonetheless.
Have no choice.
Here's Herb Jones. He'll go to work offensively soon. Buford.
Get out of there, Nelson. Let Buford take him down.
Blunt. He had a big height advantage over Ernest Smith there, and he took advantage and has a 10-point lead again for Cincinnati.
Well, if anyone wants to shoot, they want him to shoot from there.
Off the rim by David Vaughn. Loose ball. Vaughn has it. And it comes down to Herb Jones in a 2-on-1 opportunity. Van Exel has Blunt.
Here's the magician. He's there. Back it up. Set up. Doesn't kill his dribble. Very smart. See, he didn't kill his dribble. Kept it alive.
Great feed from Blunt to Herb Jones, but it was Blunt who made the big pass on the baseline. And all of a sudden, it's up to 12 again. Jones with 18 points and 10 rebounds. He's been the player of the game thus far.
You got to know when to hold and know when to fold.
Vaughn gets the roll. So David Vaughn going to work now, has 7 points. Leading scorer, Billy Smith from Memphis State with 11.
Need a stop here to make it a ball game.
Plenty of time remaining. Very few teams have sustained good leads in this tournament. One of the teams was Indiana yesterday against UCLA.
Want to take the ball around a few times here. A lot of touches. Take the clock down. Try to get Hardaway's 4th foul.
Jones with a 3. Herb Jones with his first 3-point basket, and he's got 21.
E. Smith fell asleep that time. Should have moved up on him.
Hardaway gets it to Smith. That's Billy Smith. Missed the layup out of bounds. It's still Memphis State's ball, and a whole host of substitutions coming in. Tim Duncan will come in for Memphis State. Alan Jackson, Jeff Scott, and Eric Martin from the bench for Cincinnati as Blunt and Van Exel get a much-deserved breather. And now they're going to bring Tony Matlock in the game with 4 fouls, so that's a good move.
Good move. It's time. You might even sat a little bit too long. You need the senior in there. You need the maturity. You bounce the court. He knows to get the ball into Hardaway's hands if possible. There it is.
Scott's doing a good job defensively for Cincinnati, number 50, to keep the ball from going inside. Duncan. Well, a lot of the balls are going around that rim and going in, just about all of them so far in this game.
He dunked that donut. Ooh. that hurts. Mittenboro, the Texaco hour.
That's 3 plugs in the last 12 seconds.
Got to move up to three-point land.
You're right, Memphis State has to get a couple of defensive stops here. They can't trade.
Buford's down the blocks. My whole offensive attack in the half court here would give the ball to Buford and clear out. Let him take Hardaway. You got 8 on the shot clock.
They're working against Matlock with 4 fouls, and Jackson gets the pass inside. Getting his own rebound is Eric Martin.
Oh,
like
Hardaway
walked.
in. Oh!
You know, I thought he walked. I thought he walked.
If he walked, the walk came first. But if he didn't walk, I think that's number 4.
That's on Duncan, Al, too.
Okay.
Let's see if he walked on the replay.
Let's take it a step further.
He did a dance. If he didn't walk, he did the cha-cha.
He's in the boardwalk in Atlantic City.
So here is Martin. Duncan with the foul, his second personal foul. Matlock playing with 4 and Hardaway with 3. Big story is the 2 stars, the senior stability in the backcourt. Matlock has 4. Hardaway, the Memphis State star, has 3. But both Scott and Martin come off the bench for Cincinnati, so that's not as critical as the Memphis State fouls.
Mainly because, as you said, they're both the backcourt ball players.
12-point lead, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati goes to matchup zone.
Nearly 8 minutes elapsed in the second half. Hardaway off the mark. And they're going to call a foul. It'll be on Memphis State, and it'll be 3 on Ernest Smith. Ernest Smith has 8 points in the game, doubling his season's average. He's in there for defense, and now he's in a bit of foul trouble.
Plus the team, that's the 5th personal foul. There's only 1 foul on Cincinnati as a team. But then one of the Achilles heels of Cincinnati is they don't shoot great foul shooting from as a team.
Herb Jones misses a 3. Matlock recovers. Jones, the leading scorer with 21 points in the game. Hardaway from the corner fires it up and throws up an air ball. That's 2 straight air balls from 3-point land by Penny Hardaway, and Van Exel buries that. Right now it doesn't look very good for Memphis State as Cincinnati showing their strength.
Memphis State needs more patience. There's plenty of time left. They're rushing. Good timeout by the coach. He burnt the second, leaves them with 1.
Palermo, the American League umpire who was shot last year in Dallas while breaking up a robbery. Steve, how's your rehabilitation going?
Unfortunately, it's not as quick a pace as this basketball game is. I wish it was, and I'd be down in spring training right now.
Do we and will we see you on the field this year?
I hope so. There's no set timetable with this type of an injury. You can't forecast it, but I'm really hoping that I can get back out there in 1992.
Steve, great to see you and your wife, Debbie. Good luck.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it.
Dick.
All right, Jim, courageous man and a great umpire. Steve Palermo. David Vaughn misses the shot, and here comes Cincinnati again. Buford short with it, and the rebound taken down by Tim Duncan. Matlock playing with 4 fouls, and Ernest Smith goes to 3.
Trying to get back in too soon. Play a little bit slower, Memphis State.
11 minutes remaining in the second half.
Cincinnati is really well coached. This is an amoeba-type defense here with pressure on the ball. The other 4 guys like a jellyfish down there. They kind of swing and sway wherever lanes are trying to block.
Hardaway gets it in, and it's blocked by Blunt on Vaughn's shot, and they're going to call the foul on Corey Blunt, and that will be his 3rd personal foul. Here's a guy who gave up basketball after his senior year in high school. He thought too short at 6'5". I don't think that's too short, but then he grew 6 inches after graduation, and here he is.
More of a finesse player. He's not a down-low player. I would say more like a 4 or a 3 in pro. Would need upper body strength. This guy also will need upper body strength, but that will come in time. He's just a young man. Great future ahead of him.
Vaughn only 2 field goals. Coming up next, Michigan and Ohio State. Chris Webber can't afford to get into foul trouble in this game for the Wolverines now.
Not as early as he got in foul trouble the other day, but he's a very active player when he's out there. He's pretty close to being a freshman of the year.
Well, Vaughn misses both free throws. Here comes Jackson, and they're going to get Hardaway with his 4th foul, grabbing the jersey as Jackson went by him.
That was not a thinking man's foul, Anthony.
Anthony Douglas will come in and replace David Vaughn.
That's one of the nicest names, Dick. Anthony
Hardaway. They call him Penny, but Penny Hardaway stays in the game with his 4th foul. Billy Smith also checks in for Memphis State. 63-48, the Cincinnati Bearcats have dominated this game. It was close early on. That's what Memphis State wanted to do, but Cincinnati's defense just too much for the Tigers.
Good offensive spacing, movement.
Van Exel drives the baseline, and a good half-court offense.
The unsung hero of Cincinnati.
19 points for Van Exel. Jones has 21. But they've got 40, and Memphis State only has 48 in the game. Good fake by Billy Smith. And Hardaway going up draws the foul and playing recklessly as he must do even with 4 personal fouls at this stage.
Here's a nice move in the baseline.
Eric Martin with his 4th foul, and here is Herb Jones back in the lineup. He has outscored the Memphis State starting front court and has out-rebounded them as well. So that's what Herb Jones has done for his team thus far. Nelson, the other starting forward, is also checked in for Cincinnati.
One of his weaknesses is his foul shooting.
Maybe his only one, 65% from the line. He had a technical foul, and everything went wrong in the first half of the last game against Georgia Tech, and he was brilliant in the second half. But Memphis State struggling here in both halves. 65-49 with just under 10 minutes to go in the second half.
Diamond trap, 1-2-1. Douglas playing a one-man zone down low. There he is, almost stole it.
Buford, as Memphis State tried to gamble on the pass, and Buford beat him down the middle, and he's got now 8 points in the game.
Just like a safety in football, if you gamble, you better make sure you're right, because if you miss, it's a touchdown.
18-point lead is the biggest of the game for Cincinnati.
Player hurt down on the floor. Good whistle by the referee.
Injured player for Memphis State is Billy Smith.
It is Billy Smith holding on to his right ankle. He'll be replaced by Ernest Smith, and that looks like a tough ankle injury that won't go away that fast.
And also Cincinnati will play more zones, and he's their zone buster.
We have not heard much from the Memphis State fans. They were all excited when they left their hotel today, over 3,000 of them. That confetti toss after their first basket was the last hurrah for them. 67-49. Blunt with a bounce pass to Nelson. Van Exel. He gets another 3. That's his 4th of the game, and he's got 22 points and is now the Bearcats' leading scorer.
Cincinnati is a good team. That big 3 that ends up there in Minneapolis, Minnesota, better not underrate this club.
Better not. Especially if Ohio State gets there, Al. Matlock feeding inside to Duncan. You remember Cincinnati shocked Ohio State in the 1961 and 62 championships when Jerry Lucas and John Havlicek played for the Buckeyes.
They don't stop no matter what the score is. They keep coming at you. They're like Rocky Marciano of yesteryear.
Here's Buford, and he's got a 3. That's 6 3-point baskets for Cincinnati, and they've opened up a 73-51 bulge with nearly 8 minutes remaining. Hardaway driving in. But Memphis State's not giving any indication that they're going to make any kind of a run in this game.
The reason why they're not making a run, they're trying to do it individually than rather as a team.
Kelvin Allen will replace Tim Duncan for Memphis State.
That's why, if you'll notice, a lot of the clubs, the All-Americans, have been knocked out of the tournament already, because with the modern-day defenses, you can stop any one player.
Madlock way wide with the three. Only one time in Division I history has one team beat another 4 times in 1 year. And that's when Kentucky beat Alabama 4 times in 1986. And Cincinnati on the verge of doing it for the 2nd time in history against Memphis State.
They're very close to the Grand Slam. Was this kid quick?
That's Van Exel you're talking about. Blunt. Nelson. What a blatant pass. The basket counts to Blunt. Reminded me of the Harlem Globetrotters a little bit there, Al.
Nice bounce pass, interior passing. When you do interior passing, it's much better for the bounce because you're so close together, it's easier to handle the ball. Now kick it into the post. Now here comes the cut. Turned his head. Nice bounce pass. Could end up a 3-point play if he downs it from the charity line, which is 15 feet away from the basket.
Thank you for telling us where the lines are on the floor. That's always important. Ernest Smith picking up his 4th personal foul, and here is Blunt, who tonight has 12 points. 7.5 minutes to play. Earlier in the game, the Cincinnati cheerleaders were saying 4-0, 4-0, 4-0. They're headed that way. The women's semifinals and the men's Final Four semifinals, they say that's the best day of the basketball season, and it is for Minneapolis. Will conclude the day. Into the game for Memphis State, a freshman guard from Memphis, Chris Haynes, number 14, has not played in this tournament till now. And Madlock throws the ball away. Anthony Douglas claiming it was tipped off a Cincinnati player, but it'll be Bearcats ball leading 76-51.
They've lost their cohesiveness. They just need to settle down, need a couple of baskets, but it's not their day.
They were down by 10. Memphis State was. Cut it to 8 after it's been up to 15 points, and then quickly it was back to 15. And Cincinnati has been coasting ever since.
They made one run in the second half, but they tried to eat too much rice at one sitting. They've got to go very slowly.
Blunt has it batted away, and it's last touched by Blunt off of his knee, so it'll turn it over for Memphis State. They hit a couple of threes. Billy Smith and Anthony Hardaway hit a couple of threes, and they went on a tear, but it's been their only consistent offensive show in this game. Michigan and Ohio State will follow in Lexington in the Southeast Regional Final. We'll play the winner of this game. Haynes throws the ball away.
Shows his inexperience at PT playing time. He's only a freshman. He's 6'5".
Hardaway and Vaughn, they never really got underway today for the Memphis State Tigers.
What happened with about 8 minutes to go in the first half, the two key plays as far as running the show, Madlock and Hardaway, were in foul trouble.
They've been shooting 30% between them. During the regular year against Cincinnati, they also struggled.
Try to many touches from now on each time down.
Buford driving in, and they'll have a foul against the Tigers. Cincinnati continues to play their starters. Buford and Van Exel in the backcourt, Nelson and Jones up front, and Blunt the center. That foul is against Vaughn, his third.
Buford at the line. Shooting 2.
There is Anthony Buford, who had one of his best days of the season against Michigan State in the revenge victory for the Bearcats against the Spartans with 21 points.
He makes the team tick.
Well, you got to respect the great Midwest Conference for sending 2 teams into the Elite 8 and 1 into the Final Four. Hardaway with the jumper, he's got 12.
The last time a team got to the Final Four from the conference in his first year was North Carolina versus Charlotte. That was the Sun Conference, I believe.
Right, Sun Belt. Don't forget the belt.
You remember who the commissioner was from Duke?
Vic Bubas.
Right, on the money.
He's been in the Final Four a few times. Duke has gone back for the 5th straight time. Cincinnati made 5 straight trips to the Final Four, from 59 to 63, and they're headed there again. And a Memphis State foul on Anthony Hardaway, and that will do it. We'll see a lot more of him in future years, but for this year, that's it.
That's it, son, but you got a couple of more good years. He set out last year, Proposition 48. He reached in that time. He's on his heels. He reached in and committed the foul.
Little ticky-tack, but he's out of there. 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. And not to take any sides, I'm just sorry that the people around the country couldn't see Anthony Hardaway at his best today.
Well, they'll catch him. The country will know him. This is what Coach is saying from sunset down. You had a good run as a freshman. We'll be back next year.
One of the best players in the country, leading in so many categories. And you remember before the game, he says, you know, I had a dream last night that I was putting on a Final Four t-shirt.
It'll come if he's fortunate. Try too hard, but that's youth. You know, they think they can climb every mountain.
Van Exel misses the free throw.
Take about 20 seconds off, then go for it. They look for back doors now, bringing their wingmen high.
Eric Martin is in the game for Cincinnati. They'll have most of their regulars in there, including Herb Jones, who has 21 points. And a 5-second violation will turn the ball over to Memphis State with 5:06 remaining in the game.
The call that time, if you didn't see it, was because Herb Jones was clearing out with his right arm.
Billy Smith has his three-point attempt blocked by Van Exel. Now, this Cincinnati is a relentless, withering defensive unit, and they never take a breath.
They take you completely out of your ball game.
Billy Smith on the rebound. Batted into the hands of Jones, and a 3-on-1 advantage now for the Bearcats. Buford, 80-53 the score. David Vaughn buries it from outside.
You're right now watching what we call ping pong. Up and down. Take a few shots for the average.
Lost the ball going up to Buford. Ernest Smith has got it. They had a 3-on-1. Rebound Allen on Vaughn Smith. And a Cincinnati foul inside. The Bearcats are headed for their 10th victory in a row and a trip to the Final Four. Will play one of these teams, Michigan and Ohio State. What a battle that would be if it's Ohio State or Michigan with all the freshmen. But Cincinnati, the anonymous member of the four, maybe.
And definitely the Cinderella team. But you got to remember, you need time to work out against their pressures.
He's the high scorer. Penny Hardaway fouled out for Memphis State. Look at the shooting disparity here in the second half, and Cincinnati can start making reservations for Minneapolis. Under 4 minutes to play. Billy Smith off the side. And the rebound by Duncan.
Last time out, Bob Huggins told him no fouls. Let's go to a tight 2-3 zone.
So the junior college transfers and the transfers from 2 other schools. Only one member came into Cincinnati as a freshman. Bob Huggins has got the chemistry going in a hurry for this team, and the Bearcats headed for a 29-4 record. and will go to Minneapolis. Great achievement for this team.
Great job by Bob Huggins in 3 years of turning around and become one of the Final Four for a new conference in the Great Midwest. And congratulations to their commissioner, Mike Slide. There's only 6 teams in that conference.
Great feed to Martin. I'll tell you, Cincinnati passes to cutters as well as I've seen in this entire tournament. Martin gets the basket.
If they have a softness, it's their outside shooting. They're not a great offensive ball club. But on the flip side, their defense is their offense.
Coming into the game is Alan Jackson and Terrence Gibson for Cincinnati as Buford and Van Exel leave the game. Exel leaves with 22 points, so the starting backcourt is out. And a substitution for Memphis State, and they'll start to empty their bench. Todd Munt, 7-foot junior from Jackson, Tennessee. And here is Eric Martin. It's all celebration time for the last 3 minutes of this game. 83-57 the score. Billy Smith. And the outlet pass to Jones. Going to use the clock. Duke and Indiana. What a fascinating matchup that is, Al McGuire.
Toughest part of that game, in my opinion, would be who's going to ref it. I think that's a very difficult game to ref because I feel it's going to be extremely physical, a lot of back picks, rotation. Boys can go back 8-9 men, and there's no surprises. These coaches know each other, and so the referees have a very difficult job in that game.
Mike Krzyzewski played for Bobby Knight, and they were at West Point. Herb Jones drives in for the layup, 23 points. He now becomes Cincinnati's leading scorer, plus 13 rebounds. Clearly the player of this game with under 2 minutes to go. Cincinnati in a runaway. And for only the second time in history, one team will have beaten another 4 times in a given season. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote and the CBS Sunday night movie, Highway Heartbreaker, starring John Schneider, Linda Gray, Heather Locklear, and Tracy Nelson. It all starts tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern, right here on CBS. Blunt and Jones have left the game as the Bearcats have emptied their bench. Munt fighting for the loose ball, and it'll be Cincinnati's possession.
You got 2 sumo wrestlers in there now. What the Cincinnati fans want is they want Brock to score. He's a local favorite there.
Mike Reichenegger, biggest player ever to play at Cincinnati. And the basket by Eric Martin. He has 8 points. Cincinnati goes back to the Final Four. Duncan misses the shot. They very nearly became the first team ever to win 3 straight national championships. Loyola prevented that in 1963 in overtime after the Bearcats had a big lead and lost it as they went into a stall.
Some of the people don't realize that Robinson was never on the championship team.
That's right. Oscar never made it to a title. And speaking of coaches, Al, I really enjoyed working with you in this tournament. Glad you're on our side at CBS.
Thank you. We had a lot of great ball games. This one was a blowout, but that's the way it is. You get some good ones, you get some that are also ran.
Right now, you're still the last coach to beat Cincinnati in the NCAA tournament. That hasn't changed.
That's right. We did it in 1977 in the first round in Omaha. Matter of fact, I haven't lost a game since then because I haven't coached the game.
Well, you coach from here. A little bit.
It's easy to coach when you're not sitting on the bench.
Cincinnati with the ball. New players in for both teams. Jackson, Reichenegger for a 3. Crowd would have gone wild if the 7-footer had hit. And all reserves: Daniel Scott, Leon Mitchell, Russell Young, and Todd Munt, along with Marcus Nolan in there for Memphis State. And there's Reichenegger. Tries to throw it off a Memphis State Tiger, and he does. Well, while we're thanking some people, we want to thank some more. The coordinating producer of NCAA basketball on CBS is Bob Dekas. Today's game was produced by Robert D. Stenner and directed by Larry Cavallina. The Road to the Final Four was produced by David Winter and Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck. The senior producer of CBS Sports is Ed Gorin, and the executive producer of CBS Sports is Ted Shaker. And I don't know if we have any names yet for Ted Shaker's new son. I know you said Salt or Pepper, and that might have been thought about at some point in the past.
Well, if it was twins, it'd be nice. Pepper Shaker, Salt Shaker.
We also want to thank Marty Aronoff for his fine work at the table throughout this tournament. Coming up next, Michigan and Ohio State. They'll be playing the Cincinnati Bearcats, one of the two who will survive in Lexington. And the crowd, Cincinnati, been yelling 4-0. First time since 1986 when Kentucky beat Alabama 4 times in 1 year. And we have a name. It's just come in, William Charles Shaker. William Charles Shaker.
That's very nice, Eddie. Congratulations to your wife, and I hope he has a beautiful life, the young guy.
We'll call him Will or Billy or something.
I still think you should call him Pepper.
Maybe the next one. Free throw by B.J. Ward. Under a minute to go, and the possession arrow goes the same way. So Memphis State, our congratulations, Al, goes to them. They finished 23-11, and when they were 8-6 after losing at Southern Mississippi, I don't even think they would get to the tournament, but they got to the regional final.
To get to the tournament, they had to beat UAB. Otherwise, they had 10 losses. If they would have lost to UAB, they wouldn't have gotten. They would have went to the NIT. So he did an excellent job getting this far. Coach Fitch can be proud of himself. But today, it all belongs to Huggins, Bob Huggins, who did a great job only in his 3rd year at Cincinnati.
Memphis State with only 21 points in the second half. Credit the great defense of the Bearcats. And one of those Big Ten teams will see that full court pressure in the next game in Minneapolis. Bearcats will go to 29-4, 10 in a row. You couldn't be any hotter going into the Final Four, Al.
No, they got a nice giant roll going for them, confidence, but they will be the underdog.
Sniping in is Leon Mitchell. He misses. Herb Jones had 23. Van Exel 22 for Cincinnati as the final seconds tick off. And the final score here in Kansas City sees the Cincinnati Bearcats defeat Memphis State 88-57. And so we have 3 of the 4 teams in the Final Four all worked out. Duke and Indiana in one game, and Cincinnati will play the winner of Michigan and Ohio State next Saturday in the national semifinals at the Metrodome. And our Chevrolet players of the game, Billy Smith of Memphis State and Herb Jones of Cincinnati. Thanks to Jim Gray and Al McGuire. This is Dick Stockton saying so long from Kemper Arena, where the Bearcats win in a runaway. And right now, let's send you to New York and Pat O'Brien. Pat?
All right, Dick, Al, good job. Thank you very much. So cross Memphis State off on your brackets. How many sets of brackets have you had so far?
4 or 5.
4 or 5, I can imagine. Let's tell you about our next game. Michigan, Ohio State, of course, the big game. Let's send you right out to Rupp Arena in Lexington, our Southeast Regional Final. And Jim Nance and Billy Packer are standing by with a comment. Fellas?
All right, Pat. Big Ten comes to Lexington, Kentucky. Michigan and Ohio State for the 3rd time this season. First time they've ever met out of league play. And on Friday, Ohio State, the 1 seed, ousted North Carolina, while Michigan was a 3-point winner against Oklahoma State. So we're all set now except for one spot. Who will face Cincinnati in the first game of the national semifinals? Hi, everybody. Jim Nance and Billy Packer. And Billy, we just saw the clean sweep for Cincinnati on the season, and Ohio State's going for that same result here today.
I think a little different, though. I think there are a lot of changes that have been made between these 2 ball clubs. You can see what happened in the first 2 games. Ohio State winning both. Michigan not playing well in either, but Jim, we've got a different situation. Davis and Skelton coming off the bench for Ohio State gives them a little bit different look and feel. And for Michigan, Eric Riley doing a fine job coming over the bench. So I think these teams are much more experienced and playing much more positively before. And here we see that Ohio State web. This was in the very first game when Michigan's freshmen really were freshmen. Watch what happens here. The ball goes into the post. No movement. Ohio State surrounds Chris Webber. He's got nowhere to go. And then look at the bad transition defense by Michigan. Baker to Funderburk, a layup here. You'll not see any plays like that today.
So Randy Ayers and Steve Fisher about the duel. Pat O'Brien, when you used to say Ohio State, Michigan, you would think Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler. Back to you.
All right, Jim, and you're right about that. Thank you very much. Let's send you back to Kansas City now for a moment. And Al McGuire is with Happy Coach. Al?
Coach, congratulations. What were your fears coming into this game?
Everybody was talking about how tough a fourth game was going to be, and I woke up this morning, I started thinking, I had a team that was 34-0 when I coached in NAIA. We had to play a team 4 times. We won 4 times, so I woke up today, I felt good, really. I mean, our kids are so loose, they play so hard. You know, whatever happened, it was a great year, so we're just going to come and play.
You told your players this morning that they're as good as any team in the country. Is that true? And do you really believe that?
I believe they're as good as any team in the country, Al. We don't have the outstanding individual, but we play as well as any. To play together, we play hard. We're hard to prepare for, and I think we play as well as any team in the country.
Good luck and congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you, Pat O'Brien.
All right, Al, we're just saying, you think he thought he'd be going to the Final Four?
When he faced Memphis State, I think he did, yes.
Yeah. We'll be back with more. We'll talk a little hoops here with Raft and Mike, and Bill Geist to be along, see how his brackets are doing. After this, the road to the Final Four continues here on CBS.